Alright, we've got an apparent refrigerant leak to go look for, and two other companies have been there. One gassed it up and said they'd come back and didn't, and he hired another one that came back, and I guess they told him they were going to put dye in it and do something else, and so then when it leaked down again, they're not returning his calls. So what I'm going to do is go out here and see if I can find it on the spot. So let's see what we can do. Alright, so we're hooked up here. As you can see, she is all but empty. 10 psi on one side and 6 on the other, so that ought to be real easy to find. Let's get some nitrogen out here and see what happens. We're going to start at about 300. 298 on one side and 302 on the other. As fast as I thought it would, but this ought to be pretty easy to find. Let's look at the obvious spots first. We're looking at all these obvious Goodman spots. They're bad about their welds on the small components, the small tubes like the pressure switch tubes, the bottom and top of the muffler, or maybe they call that a filter dryer, I don't know. All of their welds, especially on the smaller stuff. I can't find any oil, so I think I'm going to go look inside the air handler right quick. Maybe it's got one of those threaded piston housing connectors right on the outside of the air handler. Let's go take a quick look up there. Probably been 6 or 8 minutes. So it's dropping fast enough we ought to be able to find it. Let's go look upstairs. I guess we got to go through this conglomeration here. Whatever all this is. Externally mounted expansion valve, obviously. Looks like a little Velcro jacket that's made for it. Full of water. Neat little thing there. So, obviously, this could be the problematic area. So we're going to open it up and look for oil. Possibly have to put some trace gas in it and get the sniffer out. We can find. So I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but I can actually hear it in there. So let's get it open and we'll find it. I took that door off, I can actually hear it down in there somewhere. Let's see what we got. Seems like you might be able to hear it. Not sure if that camera will pick it up. It could be in the fin pack. I've sprayed all these. It's definitely coming from up top here. And I can hear it with no doubt. Let's keep looking. See right there in front of my finger, growing. That's where I hear it. Hear it plain as day. Elusive. Noisy but elusive. Alright, well, we did find the leak without any doubt whatsoever, and I let the homeowner go up there and stick his head up next to the cabinet and listen at it. Not sure exactly where it was, as I did not really get it to bubble. I mean, I may have saw some bubble at one point through a seam in the little triangle piece of sheet metal in the unit, but as far as being 100%, I did not get to watch it bubble. So it may be in the fin pack, I'm not sure of that. What I am sure of is it was absolutely leaking. It was definitely on the coil. It was making noise. I could block it with my hand, and could definitely narrow it down to that top corner of the coil. And you know, if they don't want it back for funs and giggles, we may pressurize it up when we get it out on the ground, on the table, whatever, and just pinpoint that just for education purposes. But I think Goodman's probably going to want the coil back. Of course, we never have that kind of hassle with Train. If we have a problem with something of ours, we don't fill out forms, we don't turn in stuff, we don't beg. We just give them the serial number, tell them the part we need, and they hand it to us. I don't know if that's the same in all states or if that's the same with all companies. I just know that that's the good service that we get from Train. I have no idea how they deal with others. The few that I know, close enough to know their operations, pretty close to the same thing that goes on. But like I say, that could be different from state to state. You know, a distributor state can be different than a direct state. And we're definitely a direct state, so we don't have a distributor. I think we get better pricing because of that as well. But nonetheless, against our advice, he wants to put a coil in his Goodman air handler. So, you know, when somebody wants to take somewhere from $1,200 to $1,500 and throw it out the window, that's entirely up to them. Or at least take the risk on that happening. Now, it may be just fine and it may run. The other one sitting beside it has run for 8 years or 9 years and not given any trouble. So this one may do the same thing once we replace that coil, or it may give problems somewhere else. But nonetheless, we're going to do what the customer wants to do. So they're comparing the figures and saying we want to fix it, so that's what we're going to do. So we'll try to get some footage on it when
when we finish that up. Thanks for watching.